Hello folks, it's Peter Elgar Photography again. Now I've had a request to show my Mamiya Press Super 23 outfit, which I got in 1968, and it was fairly cheap because there was no purchase tax on it. Now I've got some pictures to show you at the end, but first of all we'll go through this heavy but wonderful camera. This is the Mamiya Press. You don't have to use it just for press photographs. Of course you can use it for landscapes and other stuff as well, but it is heavy. It's all metal. Now the beauty of it is it's a rangefinder camera, but you can use a ground glass screen on the back here. But first of all we'll look at the front controls. Here is the standard 100mm lens which came with it. It's a 3.5 C-core lens, and you can push it in and you can pull it out. Now why do you have to do that? Well, when you use the back movements, which I show you, you have to push it in. We'll push it in, there we are, that's pulled out now. There's a cable release here which you screw into a cable release socket, and you set the shutter, and having pulled the dark slide to expose the film, like that, got to take the dark side out, you can then press it and take a picture and then wind on. I'll show you that in a minute. It's got interchangeable lenses, of course. This is, as I say, the 100mm 3.5. I've got some other lenses which came with it, and they come off in a sort of a bayonet, or like similar to the old Canon FD original ones. There is a wide angle here. It's a little short sort of stumpy lens. It's a 6.3 maximum aperture. You've got to look for a little red dot, and you put it into a red dot there, and you turn the ring here, and that locks it. Remember to take the lens cap off, otherwise you won't get any pictures. Attach the cable release. Here we are, like that, wind it in. You wind it on there. Take a picture. Here we are. That's one of the slowest speeds. Now this wide angle lens is very useful and it's quite sharp. I've also got a 150mm, put it down carefully. This is all C-core lenses, and we've got to look for the red dot, because as your eyes get bad you can't see the little red dot. Where's the red dot? Now we're in trouble. I can't see where the red... Oh, there it is. Little red dot. If you're trying to change lenses in the dark, it's not very easy. There we are. Put in the cable release. Set the shutter. Fire it. Change the shutter on the rim set here. It's on 1 second. Now I haven't fired it for a while. We'll see how accurate is the 1 second. Now it's running slow, isn't it? It hasn't been used for a long while, so it's running a bit slow. Yeah, here we are. That's the 1 second. The faster speeds are good though, and I have used this quite a lot. That's the fastest speed. Now it's no use having interchangeable lenses if you can't see the field of view that you're getting. Well, how do you do that? Well, at the back here in the viewfinder, you look through there and you've got a sliding thing here to change the field of view. You slide that across, and in the back of the viewfinder you look through here, you can see frame lines for various lenses that come up. You've got frame lines for other lenses that I don't even have. For example, there's one here for there's the 100 and the 150. There's one for the 250mm lens that I don't have. You look through and just frame it up in little orange lines. There's also a size which you can take besides the normal so-called 6x7, you can take it on a 6x9 format, which is 2 1/4, 3 1/4 inches. There are frame lines for that. If you use the 6x9 centimetre back, then you use the whole length of the frame lines. If you're using the small squarer 6x7 format, there's a little notch in the frame lines and you frame it up inside there. And then you turn the lens here and you watch in the centre for a coloured orange rangefinder spot. And when the two images are coincident, then your picture should be in sharp focus. The rangefinder window is here, and a tiny little spot one appears in there, and then you've got a, as I showed you another camera, a beam splitter inside. Now we'll take this off for a minute to make it easier to operate. Now there's lens hoods, of course. There's a lens hood that fits the 150. There's another one that fits the 100mm. There's no lens hood I've got with the 65. Now you take the back off here. That is a roll film back, and you unscrew some little screws at the back here. If I can show you, not easy doing this video at the same time. Unscrew this until they're level and lift off the back. You've got to watch the little flat piece. Here we are. There's the roll film back lifted off now, and you can put another back on, and you can take black and white, you can take colour, negative, whatever you want. There's a different back. The problem is, in the years since I bought it, the foam all along the side here has all gone rotten inside there. I had to renew all the foam, and I didn't have the correct depth of foam, and this back, it won't fit on properly because I found out the foam is a bit too thick, and when you try to fit it on, it won't slide on very well. Never mind, the other one does. I can renew the foam. Now I've got another back here. This is the 6x9cm back. Pull the dark slide, there we are, that's where the film goes in, and you can see the little orange windows. There's 3 of them, there we are. The bottom one is for 6x9 format, the middle one is for 12 on 6x6 format, and the top one is for 16 on 6x4 4.5 format. So how do you get these different formats? Well, you insert masks, and here we have a 12 on mask, and you insert it into the front here, and if you're lucky it doesn't fall out. So I found they do tend to fall out if you're not careful. You've got a mask in there, and then you can change it to 16 on. You've got to remember to use the right holes at the back to do your counting. You see if we can show you. Here we are. Ah, here we are. That's the 16 on one. Now all the pictures you take normally with the camera held normally, they're all vertical pictures because that's the shape of the mask. If you want to take a horizontal on a 6x 4.5 format, you've got to turn the camera that way and look in the viewfinder very carefully. Now there are a series of masks which is provided with the set, and you can fit them into the viewfinder, and for some reason that doesn't want to clip in, but I've found they're very fiddly indeed, and they don't work quite well. There's a load of masks here which you can fit into the viewfinder of your Mamiya Press. That is one for 645. That's a square one. This goes over the front, but a little spring broke off. And this is another little piece. I must admit I never use those now because they're so fiddly to fit on the front and on the back of your camera. I think it goes on the front like that to hide the little rangefinder window. It's very fiddly. It's much easier just to do a practice run and guess how much you're getting in, remembering which size mask you've got in. Excuse me, it's one of the hottest days of the year. Tending to sweat a bit now. Now, the other beauty of it, besides having interchangeable lenses and interchangeable backs, you've got this movement on the back here. And I've used this, it's a bit fiddly to use. Back movement. You can get what is known as the Scheimpflug rule. You pull it out and you have to use a ground glass screen to focus. Now, here we are. Here's the ground glass screen which fits on the back. Hopefully I put it in the right way round. In a moment. There we are. That's the ground glass screen. And you look into the ground glass screen and you pull out the back and you can have it at various angles to focus and get greater depth of field according to the Scheimpflug principle. And then you lock it by means of the locking knobs here. But how do you focus? Well, you've got to open the lens on time, and then you've got to use a focusing magnifier onto the back here of the ground glass screen. That's a loop. And you've got to cover yourself with a sheet or a coat. In the hot weather, you're going to get awfully hot doing this because you've got to cover yourself. You can't see the image on a ground glass screen unless you cover yourself well. You've got to put that loop on and then you focus very carefully. Well, how do you know how to focus? Well, remember, everything is upside down. So the far distant ones will come at the bottom here where you want less bit pulled out, and the nearer subjects will come at the top here where you need more of it pulled out. So what I do, I focus with this loose and then I focus the far distant part that I want down at the bottom here. Of course the front is all out focus, and then you pull gently, having released it, you pull gently the top. It doesn't have to have much actually, because it's pull it out gently, and then you see the near subjects snap into focus. And then if you can lock these without disturbing anything, you find you can hopefully get a sharp picture from front to back of a subject which is sloping away from you according to the Scheimpflug principle. But it is, I must admit, very fiddly, and you're going to say a few swear words because when you try to lock it, you'll find you upset the focusing of your subject quite a lot. But it needs a bit of practice. But I have got some pictures. I have got a picture taken showing the Scheimpflug principle. Now, if you want, you can unscrew the grip here, and when you're out in the field, you can unscrew the grip because you're not going to hand hold that, like that. And you can have it on a tripod. In fact, you've got to have it on tripod if you're doing the Scheimpflug principle. Now, what can we show you here? The size of the picture you get is not actually 6 by 7. Here's the transparency mounted. It's not 7 centimetres along that way, not unlike the Pentax 6 by 7, which is actually 7. It's only 67. So they do you at 3mm, and it's not 6 centimetres across, it's only 56mm across, so it's 5.6 centimetres. So it's a nominal 6x7, but it's not an accurate 6x7. Now here is one showing what I did with the Scheimpflug principle. If I can show you without too many reflections. This is the nearest point here, and that is the farthest point there. So I focused on the top, I focused on the farthest point, then I pulled out the back a fraction until the nearest point came into focus here. This is a water pumping works. And I only stopped down the lens to 5.6 and everything was pin sharp. That was with my 150 Secor lens. Now you remember, to see you've got to open it on time and on full aperture. So you put it to full aperture, you set the shutter spring, and then there's a little lever here. You can pull that little lever and it catches the shutter spring and it opens the lens. So you can see what you're doing. That lens is, I didn't have it on time. Oh, on our 60th. I thought myself it didn't sound like brief time. There we are, we'll try it again. Yeah, that's open now. There we are. That lens is now open for focusing. And then before you take your snap, got to remember, close the shutter. Otherwise you're going to fog your film and upset everything. Now I haven't got a great number of pictures to show you because they've all been taken largely on transparency film and stuff and colour nig which I had to give to the client. But here's one with of a friend when I was teaching at a photography college. He's an artist. That's with the 65mm lens on Tri-X film, and that was a very, very dull day. I forget what it's very sharp. I took it about f8, I think. Here's one taken of some mud at Blackpool, and here I did actually use it on a tripod, and I used the Scheimpflug principle to get it sharp from here right to the bottom here, and that's with the 150 lens. Then there's some architectural ones. That is inside Hawkshead Youth Hostel in the Lake District. That is with it's written on the back, 65mm Secor lens, tripod, Delta 400 film, developed in FX18 formula, 1+1. That is what I mixed up myself. It's an architectural shot. Here's a press photograph I did with my Mecha Blitz flash of some Morris dancers outside a pub years and years ago now. There's some pictures I took in a market, and they're not terrifically good. If you want to take people pictures, you've got to remember you're using a large format and you've got to stop down your lens more than you do with 35mm. So the bloke holding the grapes, they're very cheap, those grapes. Look, 30p a pound, about £2.50 now. His face is not actually sharp, but the grapes are sharp. Here's another one of a lady. I think I took it in Romford Market. That's with the standard 100mm lens. Now I've got some pictures which I've taken for professional use. Here we are. That is taken in my house with a white plastic background. That is on my 6x9cm format, and they are planters. They're plant. I had loads of plants inside, done with my flash, with Bowen's Studio flash. There's all on transparency film, so I can't show you the transparencies because the client kept them. This is one of my earliest ones in the Essex Countryside magazine on Ectochrome film, and I think I got 25 quid for these. You don't earn a fortune because they want it all free. There's a windmill. That was on the standard 100mm lens on slide film. And this is another one. Oh, this was on this 6x9 centimetre of our pond near my town of Brentwood here, with a little girl fishing, and they're in that's the 1970s. I can't find a date on it, but I know they took it in the 1970s. This is another job I did with the 6x9 format, and that is with Studio Flash. Lugged it all out to this factory. It came out very well because they keep all the transparencies, you see. Some kitchens there, look. They keep all the transparencies. Now, I didn't have a green background. They have put the background in. It was just a factory with loads of old rubbish in the background. So I said, what about all the stuff? They said, oh, don't worry about that. And the printers got rid of it all and put a green background in. Now here is an architectural one where I did use the back, but the trouble is it really should have a rise in front, this Mamiya press, instead of the back movements. I found when you try to rise the camera up until you don't get verticals wrong, you try and use the back movements, you can't get everything sharp, and because it destroys the plane of focus. It's not a camera really for architectural use really. It's got to have rise in front that goes up at the front, not on the back. So there's a few things I'll show you now how to load a film. Let's get a back here. Now I put a reminder on here that says RMS 100, which is out of date slide film. Now on the top you've got a little reminder. It doesn't do anything. It reminds you what ASA film you got. And in the little window you've got 120 and 220 because you can use either size film. And then if you look, you must have it set to S in there for start, otherwise it doesn't know where the numbering. Now this, sometimes the back of this pressure plate falls, but here we are. Now you've got to put your film in here, pull it across, link it there, shut the back and wind it on until the start mark comes to a little yellow point there, and then you can take your picture. So we'll see if I can show you how to load the film. I'll just sit down for a minute because it's not easy doing it standing up and talking at the same time. I just put the film in here to latch it up. There we are. Now we'll see if I can do this with my practice film, which is very old. Find this slot. It's easy doing it sitting down, but then you won't be able to see what I'm doing. I can't see what I'm doing now either. Excuse me, folks. Now this is my practice film, which has been well used. I should treat myself to a new practice film. Got to get. Here we are. It's going in now. Then we wind it on. Press with your, as usual, press with your thumb to tighten the film. Look, there's a start mark for 120. When you have a 220, you've got to remember to change the pressure plate. There's a little hole here. It says 120 in the little hole. You change the pressure plate round until it says 220. You start onto the start mark. Then you shut the back, then you wind it through until it stops. Now it's on number 1 now, as if by magic. Then to take another picture, you press a little lever here, you wind it round until it stops. It's on number 2 now. Press the little lever. Here we are. Now we'll expose the film. There's the film, and it's on this nominal 6x9 shape. There's the film going through. There we are, until you get 10 frames. Or in the case of 220, 20 frames. And then all your film is then transported across to the other side. And then you undo the back and the film will be in that position here. Then you can take it out and develop it or do what you want. So this is quite versatile, but it is a bit fiddly, this Mamiya press. And as I say, at the moment I haven't used it a great deal. I think I'm showing you everything about it now. I'm sorry, some of the scenes I've done is not all accurate with the viewing, but there we are. Anyway, I hope I've been able to show you a little bit about the Mamiya Press Super 23, folks.